Hello there folks, my name is Spooks and welcome back to another episode of Box Office Chat. This is the show where I break down the top 5 domestic box office results, see where each movie landed, and see how well each movie did, so let's get started. Number 5 was The Invitation, making $4.5 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $13 million and a worldwide total of $18 million. So despite falling from number 1 all the way to number 5, it actually had a pretty solid second weekend, even with it being the only holdover to drop in any way, shape, or form from its previous weekend. Its drop off wasn't even that bad. It only dipped 28%, which is pretty notable for a horror film that especially did not get any sort of marketing or buzz, and given its cheap budget of $10 million, it has already made that back domestically and is about to double it worldwide. And given how close it is to that doubling point, I wouldn't even be surprised to see it double its budget by the time this video comes out. So while it is certainly not going to be in the top 5 for any longer because, well, it's already at number 5, and even with this slow month, I don't expect it to be here that longer, at least it gets to leave the top 5 being somewhat of a success. So good job, The Invitation. You didn't totally fail at the box office. Number 4 was DC League of Super Pets, making $5 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $80 million and a worldwide total of $159 million. So it appears that Super Pets has pulled a Top Gun, where it fell out of the top 5 for about a week, only for it to come flying back into the top 5 a week later, which is unbelievable. I certainly wasn't expecting it to pull this off. I definitely think that National Cinema Day had a big factor to this, as according to sources, this was the second most popular film on that day. And believe me, when I was checking if National Cinema Day was doing any business at any of my local theaters, this was one of, if not the most popular movie. Just several sold out shows for this movie, which is exceptional, so much so that it actually boosted 22% from last weekend. Absolutely incredible. We'll see if this is a turning point for the movie. Maybe word of mouth will start helping it out a bit better so it can exceed the current expectations the film has made for itself, as right now it is just 16 million away from The Bad Guys' domestic total. We'll see if it can get there, and we'll even see if it can get to the $100 million mark, as this probably just brightened this film's horizons for it tenfold. However, the film is still in kind of rough waters still, as it is still like roughly around 20 million from its doubling point of its $90 million budget. And we'll see if it can be able to manage to get to that total worldwide, as it's certainly not going to get to that point domestically. And still, internationally, it has slowed down a bit. And even if it holds well, I'm not certain if that will help it out to get to the doubling point worldwide. But again, hey, if it was able to jump back into the top 5, anything is possible. So we'll see if this leads to new, better things for this movie. I'm probably going to remain a bit skeptical because I'm a cynical little twerp. But hey, I would love to be proven wrong and see this film overperform its current expectations. We'll see where the movie goes from here. But yeah, this was not a bad weekend at all for Super Pets. Number 3 was the re-release of Spider-Man No Way Home, making $5.4 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $810 million and a worldwide total of $1.9 billion. So this movie was kind of all over the place this weekend. On Sunday, it was reported that the film was at number 1, but the actuals came in and it was reported that the film came at number 3 because it was surpassed by 2 other movies we'll get to very soon. I wasn't really expecting all that much for this. Honestly, it is just a re-release, even with 11 new minutes of footage, and the fact that it is a re-release of one of the most acclaimed, beloved, popular movies in the past couple years. I wasn't expecting a whole lot of it because, again, it is just a re-release. This was really just done to get more butts in seats because there really isn't anything out right now. Really not much more to say here. It gave Spider-Man a bit more amounts of change that it really didn't need, and it kind of sort of helped people come back to theaters in a way. It was a relatively popular title on National Cinema Day, but not as popular as Super Pets, which was a bit surprising. Don't expect it to be in the top 5 for much longer because, well, again, it is a re-release and not much more else to say here. It's, once again, a movie I've talked about extensively before that has already made so much money around the world, and it continues to do so even when it has been released over and over again. Yada, yada, yada. Hooray for Spider-Man. Not much more else to say here. Number 2 was Bullet Train, making $5.7 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $86 million and a worldwide total of $196 million. So the film, like Spider-Man No Way Home, made some changes after the weekend actuals came in. It was originally at number 4 for the weekend, but then it jumped all the way up to number 2. I guess Labor Day had a big benefit to this film's success, and success it did, as it went up 3% from last weekend, which is very impressive given that it's a violent R-rated action movie. And also, not only has it surpassed Where the Crawdads Sing to become Sony's second biggest film of the year domestically behind Uncharted, it has also doubled its $90 million budget worldwide, and it's on its way to $200 million worldwide, which it's certainly going to do by the end of this week, so bravo. And it's also getting closer to the $90 million domestic total, which again, I think the film will be able to get to by the end of this weekend. Once again, I do think it'll be interesting to see if it can get to the $100 million domestic mark, because while it is still doing well, it does seem to be slowing down given, well, everyone who wanted to see this movie has already seen it, so we'll see if that affects it, but we'll also see if the amazing turnout for this movie benefits this film as well, because like Super Pets, it had a huge increase from last weekend, which even I wasn't expecting for this movie. So the fact that it was able to do so might signal, again, a turning point for this movie. We'll see if word of mouth can help it become an even bigger success and hopefully get to the $100 million milestone domestically. But even if it doesn't, it's still a huge hit. It doubled its budget. It's about to cross another huge milestone worldwide. Can't see anyone being too upset about how well this movie is doing. Once again, great job. And finally, let's end the video off with the number 1 movie of the weekend, which was Top Gun Maverick, making $6 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $700 million and a worldwide total of $1.4 billion. This film is truly a league of its own. I have no more words to say how just absolutely impressed I am at this film's hugely successful run at the box office. It has now become the 5th highest grossing film of all time domestically, surpassing Black Panther. $700 million domestic run. Unbelievable. Just astonishing, to say the least. Worldwide, it's at number 11, but even that's still quite impressive, as I believe it's about to, or maybe even has surpassed Frozen 2, which again, no one was expecting to see that happen. And it is also the 4th film in history to reclaim the number 1 spot in its 15th weekend, with the past 3 being E.T., Beverly Hills Cop, and Titanic. This movie has just captured the hearts of moviegoers everywhere. It is Labor Day weekend, and the movie came out on Memorial Day weekend, and this movie has still been in the top 5. It only dropped out one weekend. We all thought it was done for. It was on its way out. Yet here it is, topping Labor Day weekend. It was the most popular film on Labor Day. It was the most popular film on National Cinema Day. Oh boy, if you thought Super Pets' showings selling out were big, you ain't seen nothing compared to the Top Gun showings. My God. And obviously, it is the most popular film of the year domestically worldwide. It is really going to be interesting to see if anything can even come close, not surpass it, but come close to this film's huge amount of success. Because I can't believe I'm saying this, but similar to The Crew's A New Age, which was another film that was kind of a league of its own, it really is kind of the only movie people want to see right now. I mean, sure, things are much better now than they were back when The Croods came out. More movies are out, more movies are successful, and movies are making their budgets back, and movie going is certainly at a better place. But really think about this summer movie season, and the one to stay in the top 5 for as long as it did was not any of the Marvel movies, not any animated films. It wasn't even Bob's Burgers. It was Top Gun Maverick, which even those who had the highest expectations were not expecting how big this movie was going to do. That is incredible. We'll see how well it plays into the fall, if and whenever it decides to finally slow down and leave the top 5 for good. That will be an interesting story, but as clearly stated here, Top Gun Maverick is here to stay. My goodness, what a run at the box office. And those were the top 5 domestic box office results for this weekend, and normally this would be the part of the video where I discuss the upcoming new releases hitting theaters this weekend and seeing where they would land in the top 5. And even though it does seem like there is a very obvious choice for which movie would be the #1 movie this weekend, that being Barbarian, I gotta be honest, while the buzz is certainly better than expected, it's been getting critically acclaimed, I don't think it's going to break out in a way that is really going to truly like blow people's heads up, or like in an impressive way, you know. It's probably gonna open and it's gonna be better than expected, but it's probably not in the grand scheme of things, it's not gonna be like, whoa, that was huge. But then again, we are still in like a slow period right now. Again, even with this weekend's ups and downs, it was still a rather slow weekend. The biggest movie of the weekend only made $6 million. So of course, Barbarian's going to open to #1 easily. But we'll see where it truly does land in the top 5, as well as the other movies that land in the same top 5 on the next Box Office Chat. And that's going to do it for this week's episode of Box Office Chat. What did you all think of the results? Were you satisfied? Unsatisfied? Comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on all the social media links right there. And until next time, everyone, stay sharp.